Who truly owns the digital world we live in? Not the land beneath our feet, but the online realm shaping our lives. Once promised as open and free, it's now a private fiefdom, ruled by tech giants. Are we becoming digital serfs in a new age of techno-feudalism? The promise was one of liberation. The internet was meant to be the ultimate democratizing force, a tool that would connect humanity, dismantle hierarchies, and give a voice to the voiceless. In its early days, it felt like a digital frontier, a vast and untamed wilderness of possibility where anyone could stake a claim. This utopian vision fueled a generation of innovators and dreamers. They built platforms designed to share information, foster communities, and empower individuals. The services they offered were often free, seemingly a gift to the world, built on the noble principle that access to information was a fundamental right, not a privilege to be purchased. But behind this generous facade, a different kind of transaction was taking place, one that was not immediately obvious. The price of admission to this new digital world was not money, but something far more personal, far more valuable: our data. Every search query, every message sent, every photo uploaded, every location visited, it all became part of a vast, ever-growing reservoir of human experience. We entered into an unseen contract, trading our personal information for convenience and connection. We willingly gave away the blueprints to our lives, our desires, our fears, and our habits, without ever reading the terms and conditions of this new societal arrangement. This shift was subtle, happening gradually over years. It was not a sudden takeover, but a slow, creeping integration of technology into every corner of our lives. The smartphone became an extension of our minds, the social media feed a window to our social world, and the search engine the oracle for all our questions. We grew dependent on these tools, so much so that imagining life without them became almost impossible. The convenience was undeniable, the benefits tangible. But this dependence came at a cost, creating a power imbalance of staggering proportions. A handful of companies became the gatekeepers to this new reality, the architects of our digital existence. They knew more about us than our closest friends, our families, even ourselves. They could predict our behavior, influence our decisions, and shape our perceptions of the world. This is where the central tension of our story lies: the conflict between the dream of digital freedom and the reality of digital control. The very companies that promised to empower us were simultaneously building the most sophisticated systems of surveillance and influence ever conceived. This sets the stage for a fundamental change in our social structure, moving us away from traditional capitalism and towards something else, something that looks eerily like a bygone era of lords and vassals. Don't forget to like and subscribe now. At a crossroads in history, we face a new era: techno-feudalism. Tech giants now control data and platforms, echoing the power of feudal lords. Our daily lives are shaped by digital platforms. Privacy erodes and choices narrow. From targeted ads to always listening devices, the impact is personal and profound. The choices we make connect us to a larger transformation, one shaping our future. Do you remember a time before the constant hum, before phantom vibrations and endless notifications? When quiet moments were the default, not a luxury. Life moved slower, privacy was the norm, and memories were tangible. This was the world before the floodgates opened, on the cusp of a transformation that would touch everything. Before the digital age, our lives were shaped by physical presence and real-world connection. Friendships grew face-to-face through shared experiences and genuine emotion. Shopping was sensory, touching, smelling, and exchanging cash by hand. Entertainment was communal, from movie theaters to music on vinyl. Work and home were separate, with clear boundaries and a slower pace. In that clarity there was a certain kind of freedom. Like and subscribe now. Then everything changed. The personal computer and the World Wide Web brought the world's information into our homes, blurring the line between private and public life. The smartphone put this universe in our pockets, making the digital world a constant companion. We began curating digital versions of ourselves, highlight reels for an invisible audience, while our self-worth became tied to likes and followers. Social interactions shifted, more connections, but often less intimacy, as communication fragmented into texts and emojis. The paradox: we're more connected than ever, yet risk feeling more alone. Imagine the world after this shift. Alex's day is shaped by technology. His phone wakes him, algorithms curate his news, and smart devices anticipate his needs. Every action, shopping, commuting, working is tracked, building a detailed digital profile. Ads follow him across devices, purchases are instant, and entertainment is algorithmically tailored. His life is seamless and convenient, but every choice feeds a vast, invisible system. This is the new normal, a life of connection, convenience, and constant surveillance. In the 1990s, the web was chaos. Searching was frustrating and unreliable. At Stanford, Larry Page and Sergey Brin set out to bring order, theorizing that a page's value came from the quality of links pointing to it. Their project, Backrub, analyzed these links like academic citations, creating a hierarchy of trust and relevance. With limited resources, they built their system from scratch, driven by curiosity, not profit. Their tool quickly outperformed others, revealing its massive potential. Soon, their academic project was poised to become a world-changing company. Their breakthrough was PageRank, an algorithm that measured not just the number, but the quality of links to a page. This democratic system surfaced the most valuable information, making search results uncannily accurate. Google's clean design and user-first approach set it apart from cluttered competitors. The goal: get users to what they wanted fast, not keep them lingering. Word spread quickly. Google became synonymous with finding information. This philosophy, serving the user above all, would define the company's identity. As Google grew, its founders wanted to avoid the ethical pitfalls of other tech giants. In a pivotal meeting, the motto, "Don't be evil," was born. Simple, memorable, and idealistic. It meant putting users first, protecting privacy, and resisting short-term gains that compromised trust. The motto attracted talent and shaped Google's culture. It was enshrined in their IPO letter: Google would do good even at the expense of profit. This bold stance set Google apart as a company with a conscience. In the early years, the "Don't be evil" mantra permeated Google's culture. It was a common refrain in meetings, a yardstick against which new ideas and products were measured. This idealistic ethos fostered an environment of incredible innovation. Engineers were encouraged to spend 20% of their time on personal projects they were passionate about, a policy that led to the creation of iconic products like Gmail and Google News. The company's campus, the Googleplex, became legendary for its employee perks: free gourmet food, on-site doctors, and recreational facilities. The message was clear: if you take care of your employees and empower them to do good work, they will build great things that benefit everyone. However, the seeds of a fundamental contradiction were planted from the very beginning. While the company's mission was to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible, its business model relied on something else entirely: organizing the world's people and making them accessible to advertisers. The company's primary source of revenue came from AdWords, a system that displayed small text-based ads alongside search results. While they kept these ads clearly separate from the organic results, this business model created an inherent tension. To make advertising more effective and therefore more profitable, Google needed to know more and more about its users. The more they knew, the better they could target ads. This created a direct conflict with the principle of user privacy. The drive to collect user data to improve advertising targeting was a slippery slope. It began with search queries, but soon expanded to include location data from maps, the content of emails in Gmail, videos watched on YouTube, and browsing history through the Chrome browser. Every new free service offered to users was also a new, powerful tool for data collection. The company that promised not to be evil was simultaneously building the most sophisticated and comprehensive global surveillance apparatus in human history. The convenience offered to users was the bait in a trap designed to capture their behavioral data for commercial exploitation. The "don't be evil" motto, once a clear moral compass, began to look more like a clever piece of public relations. It allowed the company to maintain a benevolent public image while its underlying business practices grew more invasive. The contradiction was subtle at first, but it became more pronounced as the company grew into a global behemoth. How can a company whose profits depend on knowing your deepest desires, your secret fears, and your every move truly claim not to be evil? This central tension between Google's stated ideals and its economic reality would ultimately come to define not just the company's own trajectory, but the future of the entire digital world. In mapping the digital world, tech giants began to map us. Our smartphones track every step, our searches and clicks reveal our lives. We invite surveillance into our homes, trading privacy for convenience. The all-seeing eye is now invisible, an ever-present network we've learned to accept, even welcome. In this new economy, you are not the customer. The product being sold is you, your data, your attention, your future actions. Powerful algorithms turn your life into a commodity, auctioned to the highest bidder. Privacy now means owning your story, not just keeping secrets. We are the fuel that powers the digital economy. The technology platforms we use every day aren't neutral. They're meticulously designed to capture our attention, guide our behavior, and even shape who we are. Features like infinite scroll and the like button are engineered to keep us hooked, tapping into our need for validation. Algorithms amplify what provokes emotion, creating echo chambers and filter bubbles. We think we're making choices, but often we're just following a script, one we barely notice. Let's revisit Alex's day, but now with a deeper understanding of the forces at play. The gentle melody of his alarm was not just a pleasant sound, it was chosen by an algorithm that has learned the precise audio frequency most likely to wake him without causing irritation, maximizing the chance he will engage with his phone immediately. The news feed he scrolls through is not a reflection of the day's most important events, but a carefully constructed reality designed to confirm his biases and provoke an emotional reaction, ensuring he stays on the app longer. The outrage he feels about a particular headline is not an organic response, but an engineered one, a predictable outcome of the content he was served. His drive to work, guided by the GPS, is not just a journey. The app is not only tracking his location, but also testing his response to different types of advertisements and notifications delivered at specific points in his commute. Does a coffee shop ad delivered a quarter of a mile before the exit prompt him to deviate? This is a live experiment, and Alex is the unwitting test subject. At work, the productivity software doesn't just monitor his activity. It uses gamification techniques, points, badges, leaderboards, to nudge him and his colleagues to work faster, subtly increasing competition and stress under the guise of a game. He is being managed not by a human, but by an algorithm. The movie recommendation in the evening is not a benign suggestion. The platform knows, based on his viewing history and data purchased from brokers, that he has recently gone through a breakup. It suggests a sentimental, uplifting film, not just because he might like it, but because content that resonates emotionally is more likely to keep him subscribed to the service for another month. The platform is not just entertaining him, it is managing his emotional state for commercial gain. Even his conversation with friends is mediated. The platform suggests gifs and quick replies, subtly shaping the tone and content of their interaction, replacing genuine expression with pre-packaged sentiment. Alex ends his day feeling connected, efficient, and entertained. He feels that technology has made his life better, easier. He's entirely unaware that he has spent his entire day inside an invisible cage, an architecture of control built from his own data. His choices have been subtly guided, his emotions manipulated, and his behavior monetized at every turn. He has not been coerced by force or threat, but by a system of perfectly personalized, frictionless persuasion. He is free, but only within the boundaries set for him by the algorithms that now govern his life. This is the quiet, insidious nature of technology's control. Don't forget to like and subscribe now. To understand our future, we must look to the past. At feudalism, a system built on land, loyalty and hierarchy. Power rested with land-owning lords while serfs worked the land in exchange for protection, bound by duty and tradition. This rigid pyramid of power and dependence shaped medieval life and echoes in our digital age. In the 21st century, digital infrastructure is our most vital resource. The platforms owned by tech giants are the new manors, privately owned realms where we work, socialize and trade, but never truly own. We are bound to these digital lands, our data harvested, our livelihoods dependent on the rules of the tech lords. In the digital age, tech oligarchs rule vast online realms. Below them, privileged engineers and managers maintain the system, rewarded with wealth and perks. Most of us are digital serfs, trading our data and attention for access. Gig workers managed by algorithms face the harshest precarity, utterly dependent on the platforms for survival. A crucial distinction between capitalism and technofeudalism is the role of the market. Capitalism, at least in its idealized form, is defined by market competition. Companies compete to offer better products at lower prices, and consumers make choices that drive innovation and efficiency. While this ideal is, rarely pure, the underlying dynamic of market competition is central. Technofeudalism, however, is what happens after that competition has ended. The tech giants have become so dominant, their platforms so essential, that they no longer operate within a truly competitive market. They have become the market itself, a private space they control completely. Think about it for a moment. Where can you go to search for information without using Google? Where can you participate in online social life outside of Facebook's ecosystem? Where can a small business sell its goods online without paying tribute to Amazon? For vast swathes of our economy and society, there are simply no viable alternatives. These companies have achieved monopolies not just over a product, but over the very infrastructure of modern life. This is not capitalism. It is a return to a pre-capitalist model of rent extraction. The tech lords do not need to innovate to beat competitors. They simply need to maintain control over their digital territory and extract value from everyone who needs to use it. This is why the traditional tools we use to regulate capitalism, such as antitrust laws, often seem inadequate to address the problem. Breaking up a tech giant is like trying to break up a feudal kingdom. Even if you split it into smaller fiefdoms, the underlying relationship of power, the ownership of the platform, and the dependence of its users remains the same. The issue is not one of market concentration in the traditional sense, but of a fundamental shift in the nature of power. The power of the tech lord is not just market power. It is a form of private, unaccountable sovereignty over a significant portion of human activity. This creates the illusion of a market, the illusion of choice, while the reality is one of dependence and subjugation. We may feel like we are savvy consumers making choices in a vibrant digital marketplace, but in reality we are peasants wandering through the Lord's private market, where all the stalls are owned by him, all the prices are set by him, and a portion of every transaction goes directly into his coffers. The language of capitalism, of customers, products and markets, is used to obscure this new feudal reality. It masks a system where competition is dead and the primary economic activity is the extraction of rent from a captive population. Imagine a future where invisible digital walls quietly shape every aspect of life. Access to work, healthcare, and even friends, all determined by your platform profile and score. The world fragments into walled gardens, consensus fades, and freedom becomes an illusion. For Alex, and for us, the cage is comfortable, yet inescapable. We stand at a critical fork in the road. One path offers comfort and convenience, but at the cost of our freedom and dignity. The other demands resistance and conscious choice, reclaiming our digital sovereignty. The future is unwritten. The choice of which path to take is ours to make. Alex's story mirrors our own, a world of digital convenience but also surveillance and control. The choice is ours. Question, resist, or accept the comfort of the digital cage. The rise of techno-feudalism is here. Will you be a passive subject or an active citizen? The echo of that choice will shape our future. Like and subscribe and click on one of these videos to continue your journey.